Hey everyone, buckle up because Canada's election just took a wild turn, and it's all because of one man, Donald Trump. That's right, the former US president is shaking things up north of the border, and Canadians are fired up like never before. From taunts about turning Canada into the 51st state to tariffs threatening their economy, Trump's shadow is looming large over today's vote. Will this spark a wave of Canadian nationalism, or will it tear apart their political landscape? Stick around as we dive into the drama, the voters, and the high stakes of Canada's fight to stand tall. Welcome back to Focal Point, where we break down the biggest stories shaping our world. Today, we're zooming in on Canada, where voters are hitting the polls to choose their next prime minister in a federal election that's become a battleground for national pride. And the unexpected player in this high-stakes game? None other than Donald Trump. His taunts, tariffs, and provocative Truth Social posts have turned this election into something far bigger than just picking a leader. It's about Canada proving it can stand up to its southern neighbor. Let's unpack what's happening, why it matters, and how Canadians are responding. Just this morning, Trump took to Truth Social, dropping a bombshell that's got Canadians buzzing. He wrote, "Good luck to the great people of Canada," urging them to elect someone with the strength and wisdom to cut your taxes in half. But here's the kicker. He doubled down on his ongoing troll, suggesting Canada would be better off as the 51st state of the US. Yep, you heard that right. He even described Canada's landmass as a beautiful commodity that could be absorbed into the US. This isn't just a playful jab. It's a direct challenge to Canada's sovereignty, and voters are not having it. To understand the ground reality, let's head to Ontario and British Columbia, where reporters have been talking to everyday Canadians. The sentiment? A mix of anger, defiance, and a newfound sense of unity. Take three voters in Ontario, for example. When asked about their top issue in this election, their answer was unanimous: Donald Trump. One voter, a woman at a hockey rink, put it bluntly: "He's a bully. We're supposed to be allies, but he's treating us like a punching bag." Her sister-in-law chimed in saying, "I never thought I'd be the type to wave a Canadian flag, but here we are. Trump's pushing us to stand together." This wave of nationalism is reshaping the election in ways no one saw coming. Just a few months ago, the Conservative Party, led by Pierre Poilievre, was dominating the polls with a 25-point lead. Fast forward to today, and the Liberal Party, now led by Mark Carney after Justin Trudeau stepped back, is surging. Why? Because Canadians want a leader who can go toe-to-toe with Trump. Carney, with his central bank experience and global economic expertise, is seen as the adult in the room who can handle the economic threats Trump's tariffs pose. Let's talk about those tariffs for a moment. Trump has been vocal about slapping hefty tariffs on Canadian goods, which could cripple industries like automotive and agriculture. For context, Canada and the US share one of the world's largest trading relationships, with billions of dollars in goods crossing the border annually. A tariff war could devastate Canadian jobs and raise prices for consumers on both sides. But Trump's not stopping there. He's also thrown out provocative insults, like calling Canada's prime minister a governor and mocking the idea of Canada as a sovereign nation. These aren't just words, they're rallying cries for Canadians to rethink their relationship with the US back to the voters. In Ontario, two sisters-in-law and a man named Toby Gorman were planning to vote for the Green Party. But here's the twist. They know the Greens don't have a shot at forming the government, so they're switching their votes to the Liberals, hoping to give Mark Carney a strong mandate to stand up to Trump. This strategic voting is a direct response to the fear that Trump's policies could undermine Canada's economy and independence. As one voter said, "We need someone who can fight back, not just roll over." Then there's Peter Hamilton, a 75-year-old conservative voter who runs a maple syrup farm. Even he's feeling the shift. He told reporters that the US is no longer the friend Canada once relied on. "We need to rethink everything," he said, "from defense spending to our economic markets." His party, the Conservatives, were poised to sweep the election earlier this year, but Trump's interference has flipped the script. Peter's now bracing for a Liberal win, and he's calling for unity to protect Canada's interests. This election was supposed to be about change, about addressing housing costs, healthcare, and climate goals. But Trump's antics have made it about something bigger. National identity. Both Carney and Poilievre are proposing government-backed plans to bolster Canadian industries against Trump's tariffs. While their details differ, the core idea is the same: protect Canada's economy at all costs. It's a rare moment of alignment between the Liberals and Conservatives, driven by the shared threat of Trump's economic aggression. Let's zoom out for a second. Canada's election isn't happening in a vacuum. Just days ago, a tragic crowd-ramming attack in Vancouver left 11 people dead, and a 30-year-old man is now facing murder charges. This tragedy has added a layer of somber reflection to the campaign, reminding voters of the stakes in choosing a steady leader. But even with this heartbreak, Trump's influence remains front and center. Advance polls saw record turnout, with many Canadians citing the existential threat from Trump as their reason for voting. Pierre Poilievre, the conservative leader, isn't taking Trump's meddling lightly. This morning, he fired back on social media saying, "President Trump, stay out of our election. The only people who will decide Canada's future are Canadians at the ballot box." It's a bold stance, but Poilievre's in a tough spot. His party shares some ideological overlap with Trump's platform, like pushing back against woke institutions. Yet Trump's interference is costing him votes, as Canadians rally against anything that smells like U.S. overreach. Mark Carney, on the other hand, is capitalizing on the anti-Trump sentiment. His campaign has framed him as the serious, experienced leader Canada needs to navigate these uncertain times. Voters see his background as former governor of the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England as a major asset. "We need someone who understands the economy," one voter told reporters in Windsor. "Carney's been there, done that. He won't let Trump push us around." Windsor, by the way, is a telling case study. This Ontario city shares a border with Detroit, and the two were once so close that a bus ran between them. That bus? Canceled, thanks to the rising tensions sparked by Trump's rhetoric. Locals on both sides agree. Trump is unreliable, and his unpredictable moves are straining a once tight relationship. It's a microcosm of how Trump's actions are reshaping not just Canada's politics, but its day-to-day connections with the U.S. So where does this leave us? As the polls close and votes are counted, all eyes are on whether the Liberals can ride this wave of nationalism to victory. If they do, it'll be a stunning comeback for a party that was written off just months ago. Justin Trudeau, who chose not to run again, might be kicking himself for missing this moment. His party's resurgence is a direct result of Trump's provocations, and the race to replace him as Liberal leader now feels like a sprint to the Prime Minister's office. For Canadians, this election is about more than politics. It's about pride, resilience, and reclaiming their voice. Trump may enjoy trolling his northern neighbors, but he's underestimated the power of a united Canada. As one voter put it, "We're nice, but we're not pushovers." Trump's about to find that out. And that's the story shaking up Canada's election. What do you think? Will Canadians rally behind Mark Carney to stand up to Trump, or will Pierre Poilievre pull off a conservative upset? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more breaking news. We'll be back with updates as the results roll in, so stay tuned to Focal Point. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.